is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author on the New York Times, is my co-host today. Also, my daughter will be taking your questions about life and money and relationships and careers. We talk about all of it here on The Ramsey Show every day. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Diego starts us off in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Diego. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you guys doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hi. So I'm 26. I have my bachelor's. I want to go to medical school. I want to do it debt-free. I've heard you talk about it before on the show, to go through like the military, see like what other programs that they offer. I tried going through them. I got disqualified. So I really don't want to go into all this debt, but like it's just so time consuming. And on top of that, I live with my parents. Like I'm 26. Like I want to move out. But it seems like I don't know how I can do it without going into debt, you know, because I want to go to medical school. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm going to do this master's in August that will give me an entryway into medical school. So it's just like a 9-month master's program. But to do that, I need to go into all this debt. So I don't know what I could do, you know?
Yeah, Diego, it's a great question. I feel like this is one we get, you know, quite often, especially whether it's medical school or law school. And I think different situations, different schools have different routes. And of course, it's very rare. And Dave, I obviously would love your take on it because you talk to people more than I do with this scenario. But what I know, Diego, is that there have been ways that people have found a way, not just to pay cash, but they've done things within the medical community, or they were part of, not a fellowship, but some type of program that actually helps them pay their way through. And I feel like I hear more often that happening more in the law school spectrum. But Dave, have you, for medical school specifically?
There's a couple of things that are going on. Number one, I want to go back and address a phrase you said. This is so time consuming. Let me tell you what's time consuming. Paying off $250,000 in debt, that's time consuming. Okay, so yeah, you need to spend the time and the effort, and that is the big deal, is to spend the time and the effort on the front end. There's a couple of angles I would tell you to look at. One is where you get accepted to medical school is very, very important in the equation, because medical school is not unlike other forms of higher education in that some of that is 4 and 5x what the other one costs. And so, you know, there is the cheaper version. And by the way, I don't remember ever asking a doctor where he went to school. I just asked him if he could fix that broken thing on me. You know, that's all I wanted to know. And so, and if he convinced me he could, then we're there. I never really asked for credentials. Did you go to, a big-time med school or a little-known med school? I didn't ask. Now, obviously, you can learn some things in some places you can't learn in other places and those sorts of things. But anyway, so school selection, just like it is in undergrad, is very important. The second thing you can look for is the MD PhD program. The most famous one is over at Duke, but there's several schools around the country that have those. And that's basically where you get on staff at the school and do some teaching, some undergrad teaching, some grad level grad level teaching type stuff, like graduate assistant type teaching. And since you're a staff member, you get free or near free tuition. It's like getting a fellowship, though. It's very rare. It's very hard to get in. 1 in 100, 1 in whatever, get it. The second thing I would do is I would pick up Ramsey personality, Christina Ellis's book, Confessions of a Scholarship Winner. What Christina did was she managed to apply for and get enough scholarships that she got $500,000 in scholarships. What? Yeah,
So,
she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll pay for your med school, dude. Okay. So you need to do what she did in that sense, because she ended up getting her undergrad and then went to Vanderbilt for her grad, paid cash for all of it, had money left over. And she's on our team now. She's a brand new Ramsey personality. But before she came here, she wrote a book was a bestseller called Confessions of a Scholarship Winner: The Secrets That Helped Me Win $500,000 in free money for college. How you can too. So that type of stuff is the type of material you need to be rolling around in all day long. The last thing I will tell you, and again, this is all just needle in a haystack stuff, but dude, all you got to do is find one needle, and you're there. Because you don't have to. This does not have to be a policy for the United States of America. This is Diego. Just got to do it. Just Diego. That's the only guy's got to do it. All right. So, for your sake, anyway. Now, a lot of the large pharmaceutical companies and large hospital companies are desperate to have doctors like them, and that includes future doctors. And so some of them have scholarship or work for hire type programs, meaning that you can talk to a large hospital corporation and promise to work for them in a different setting, maybe at a reduced rate for several years. But you can go to an underserved area, an inner city area, a rural area where they're having trouble getting docs to park, and you go there and serve for 3 years afterwards. You get paid to do that, but in return for making that promise in advance, it's a modern-day indentured servant program. You get free medical school paid for by them. So that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. Is all of that worth it? Well, you've just got to weigh it out. But I can tell you this. Christina talks about she probably made $1,000 an hour applying for scholarships. So, I mean, if she had, 50,000 hours, in the thing,
sure.
that'd be $100 an hour, or 5,000 hours would be $1,000 an hour that she got, and she's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, Christina's absolutely incredible. I don't know the scholarships in the medical.
Yeah, but these were not tied to anything. She used them for grad.
No, she did, but I'm saying for Diego.
Yeah. Are they specific?
Yeah, are they
specific for medical? I don't know. They're very, again, anything that's graduate level is harder to get than undergrad.
Yes.
A lot of undergrad out there laying around.
And so, you're saying all this is a needle in a haystack, and sure it is, but what I know is, even being on this show and talking to people around the country, people have done it. Like, they'll come up to me in a book signing line or something. They're like, oh yeah, I went to medical school debt free. I did business.
How'd you do that?
Yes, I always ask, because it's some kind of program like this, right? It takes a little bit of that creativity. Like, when debt is not an option in your life, and you said, I'm not, whether it's medical school or credit card debt, you have to find a new way of looking. It's not just this automatic. So it does take some creativity.
But this is
and
not
work to go into.
It's not getting in the drive-thru and getting a Starbucks.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to. This is not cookie cutter. I mean, there's not one on every corner.
Right,
You're going to have to scratch and claw and dig and turn over rocks until a crawdad runs out. You don't even know what that is, but there you go.
I know what a crawdad is.
I know he doesn't, but so.
Diego, where's Diego from? Phoenix? Oh, but there's crawdads in Phoenix.
You think?
I don't know. Is there?
In Louisiana, they're crayfish, so I don't know. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. How's the resolutions going? If you're like most people, you hit them hard in January and you're starting to run out of steam if you hadn't already. Why? Because you're trying to do it all on your own and you don't have a proven plan that's step by step to help you make it happen. If you really want to do this stuff, if you really want to get control of your money, don't do it alone. Get the support, the accountability you need by joining a Financial Peace University class. You can go through the proven money plan with other people who will help you stay motivated. They'll encourage you. They'll also hold you accountable. That's what your friends will do, and they'll be your new friends, and many of them will be friends for life because they're trying to do the exact same thing you're doing, getting out of debt, building wealth, being outrageously generous. And right now there's hundreds of Financial Peace University classes getting started in person and online. So no more lame resolutions. Make 2022 the year you take control of your money, and don't do it alone. Find a Financial Peace University class. Get started with a free trial at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Jacob's in Chattanooga. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Rachel. How are you guys?
Great, man. What's up?
So my wife and I are 27 years old. We just finished baby step 3 and are moving into baby step 4.
Way to go.
Yeah, we're excited. So we've sat down with the smart investor in Chattanooga, started laying out our numbers and talking to him about investing and our goals for retirement. And after chatting with him, we kind of left discouraged rather than encouraged. And I know baby step 4, 5, 6 is supposed to be kind of moving into this exciting dream for the future, have vision. We just left the conversation feeling kind of defeated a little bit. When we used your online platform for investing, the number that it was giving us, even at a low percentage, was way higher than what he's given us. And we're just feeling discouraged and kind of defeated and not knowing what to do next.
So,
Okay.
Jacob, is it that you're discouraged that when you're looking at specifically investing, or when you're looking kind of at your situation with 4, 5, and 6, there's just, once you do everything and lifestyle, there's not a lot of money left? Like, what specifically is discouraging? Just the investing part?
A little bit of both. So basically, my wife we have a 10-month-old. My wife is working part-time from home, staying with him. And so our take-home pay is about $4,500 a month. So we don't have a ton to throw towards investing and towards the college fund and the house, but we still feel hopeful that we've created room in our budget. We live pretty below our means, so we feel like we have a good amount of money each month to still throw at those things.
Okay, stop a second. So if you put 15% of your income in baby step 4 and your income's $75,000 a year, why are you not going to be wealthy? I don't understand.
Our income's only
$4,500 a month is just under $60,000 a year take-home pay, which puts you at about $70,000 or $75,000 gross. What's your gross?
Our gross is about 50 right now.
Dude, you can't add. Your take-home pay is 50. 4 times 12 is 48. You said you take home $4,500 a month.
But his wife
No, he says that's what you said.
is part-time as well.
Right?
Right. My wife's working part-time.
Okay.
So what?
Did you not tell me $4,500 take-home pay per month? Did you tell me that?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Multiply that by 12 for me.
12s are hard.
Okay. It's $54,000, which means
Yes, sir.
your gross income before taxes is north of 70. Might be 68.
Does that okay? Let's just time out for a second. Jacob, tell me what does that make sense, or is there another piece of this puzzle that we're missing, or I just want to get on the same track with you.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the math makes sense to me, obviously.
Okay. All right. So if you take 15% of your gross income, you're going to be wealthy if you invest that in good growth stock mutual funds. Do you have a match at work?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay. And that's assuming you never get a raise.
Right.
And of course you're going to get a raise. Of course your household income is going to go up over time. And
So
when you get the house paid off, you're going to dump even more money in it. So, I mean, you're not going to be a millionaire in 4 years. But we didn't tell you that. You're going to be a millionaire in 15 years.
But I'll say this, Jacob, whether it's you're making 55, 65, 75, like I know as you go through and do your budget though, and you're doing your expenses, and then you're getting to this point of baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And after you do the 15% and you want to put some in for college and you're wanting to pay the house off early, right? Like
he said he could do all that. He's running tight. But I thought I understood you to say, Jacob, now tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I thought I understood you to say you ran the investment calculator and got one number, and when you sat down with the SmartVestor Pro, they gave you a different number, and that number that you didn't feel like you were going to be able to build wealth based on what the SmartVestor Pro told you, and you were depressed by that. Is that what you said?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So when we did the online calculator, we're really struggling, honestly, to know if we should continue with this SmartVestor or if we should look for someone else.
I think you should look for someone else.
Okay.
Okay. You got a bad start here. Whether it's the guy's fault or your fault, I don't know. You got a bad start, but the honeymoon was rough. So, So I you got to have a person handling your money that you're comfortable with, and that you trust and so forth. So here's the thing: the next time this kind of a conversation comes up, go ahead and challenge it, and go, okay, what's the difference in this and when I ran the calculator? Because that's you being the owner of your money, and they're there to teach you, not them there to go, well, you're only going to get this much money. And you go, oh, crap, well, I'm not going to go over there because that guy's not going to do it. Listen, it ain't anything to do with the guy, it ain't anything to do with you. It's what you put it in.
Sure.
And so if you pick good growth stock mutual funds that get average annual rates of return, and you save 15% of $65,000 or $70,000 a year from age 27 to age 67, you're going to have north of $5 million.
Sure. And that's what we're seeing on your website. And that's
what my brain just told me. I didn't even use a calculator.
And the confusion was just sitting down with him and hearing.
He must have been running a lower rate of return or an inflation and adjusted rate of return to be conservative, because those guys always like to underpromise and overdeliver. But it's not up to them. It's up to you.
Sure.
So, yeah, I would sit down with a different one and go, listen, when I run the numbers out, here's what I get. And here's the thing. By the way, both of you are wrong, and so am I, because your life is not going to unfold linearly to where you go, okay, we're going to project this based on a 3% cost of living raise per year, and we're always going to give 15% of the new cost of living, and we're projecting that the house is going to be paid off here, and when it pays off, we're going to fully max out all retirement, and that's going to take us to there. There's like 73 variables. Oh, and by the way, you got more raises than that. Oh, by the way, your rich uncle died that you didn't even know you had. Oh, by the way, you sign up for a stock plan at your company and somehow get a big bonus that way that you didn't see coming. There's a whole bunch of stuff going to happen in the next 20 years. You have no idea what it is, and most of it's good. So the numbers are wrong. It's just an idea to keep you moving.
Totally, yes. And Jacob, and anyone else listening, I think that this is a great, though, reminder that when you sit down with someone, I mean, he's 27 years old, the first time to probably maybe sit down with a financial advisor. I get it. It can be intimidating. Like Winston and I just went with ours. We go every January just to relook at everything. And even though I know what I'm doing for the most part, and we know everyone, it still takes me a hot second to be like, okay, it's an intimidating thing. And when you're not in this world and you don't know, so all that to say, ask questions. And if you feel like, no, I'm getting something different here on this website, tell me what's different here versus there, and don't feel stupid to ask questions, because be
the 8-year-old little boy. Why? They ask why about everything. Do you want to kill him? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But do it, because it's your money.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you called, Jacob, because it's confusing, and so hopefully that gave you some clarity. And
I think you were onto something there. You get someone that you get that comfort level with, that you're not intimidated with, whether it's his fault or not. I'm not even blaming him. But you got a rough start there. There's other SmartVestor Pros. Get one that has the heart of a teacher that you can jive with, and that doesn't take care of you, but teaches you. And that's the whole thing. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. One of our favorite things to do is to take a call from someone, tell us their debt-free story so they can do their debt-free scream. The thing that's more favorite is if they're actually here live in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, which, by the way, you can come visit us anytime you'd like. We've got a coffee shop, and the coffee and the homemade cookies are free. There's a bookstore, a whole experience when you come to visit the Ramsey headquarters. We'd love to have you. But the only thing even more favorite than all of that is our own team members on the debt-free stage. Yeah! So Scott Pena and his wife Molly are with us to do their debt-free scream. Scott's been with us about a year. He works on the Ed Solutions team, helping to get high school curriculum and curriculum in middle schools all across America. And welcome, man.
Hey, thank you.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
So cool.
So happy to be here.
Well done. How much have y'all paid off?
$153,000.
Wow. How long did that take?
Took 34 months.
Good for you. Okay. And 12 of those approximately you have been here.
Right.
So 2 years before you got here, 2 years before you got here, and a year after you got here, you're working on this.
Right.
So I don't ask your incomes because you work here and all your compadres are standing around. Completely inappropriate. But tell us your story. What happened?
Oh, man. About 3 years ago, we had just gotten engaged, and we got your book. My parents found you later in their marriage and kind of learned the hard way, similar to your story of you and Sharon, Dave. And so that was one thing that they were really, wanted to encourage us to look into this right as we got engaged. And I think we were just both really convicted right when we started reading Total Money Makeover that we had been blessed with so much and had just found the love of our life that we had been praying for, and yet we had no idea how to handle our finances. And I remember we were reading one story about a family with 3 children and taking out a second mortgage and having 2 car loans, and we just looked at each other and said, that's going to be us. Like, we got to get this together. And just, we were totally bought in right away.
Read the book in 2 weeks, and it was over after that.
Game on.
Game on.
So you get married and go.
We're not
right.
taking all this baggage into our marriage. Like, let's go.
What kind of debt was the $153,000?
101 of it was student loans.
Ouch!
I know.
Big Sally.
That's it. She's out.
I love it. Give her the eviction notice.
That's it. And the rest was just dumb consumer debt. We had credit cards, taxes owed, a family loan, our wedding.
So much.
Some more credit cards.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
for you
so
guys,
where were you all living when you first got married?
We were living in Southern California.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And how do you end up here for the last 12 months of the journey?
We spent 2 years in Chicago, lived downtown Chicago, and COVID was part of a blessing because everything was shut down, and so we could just tackle our debt, and we had nothing else going on. So spent 2 years in Chicago, and then during the whole journey of us tackling our debt, we're like, why don't we shoot for our dreams and try to make our way down to Nashville and work for work for an organization that's obviously just changed our life forever, and changed our family tree. We've got a little one now, and and I work in Ramsey Ed, and I can't be more blessed to just help that next person not be another Scott Penny out there, and taking out student loans and consumer debt. So
That's
selling
awesome.
our curriculum is just life changing, because I could get to give back any way I can.
Yeah. Way to go,
awesome.
guys.
Well, I feel like it's, when you say 3 years over the scope of life, it's like, 3 years, absolutely. We talk about, just make the sacrifice and all that. But when you're in the middle of the 3 years, right? Like when you're in month like 9 and 10, and you're and so there were hard parts, I know. So what was the hardest part though of this journey for you guys?
Mind if I take this one, babe?
Sure.
So we
like,
parked.
let me.
So we parked our car about a mile away for about a year and a half, and so I was definitely trucked in the snow and everything because we didn't want to pay for parking at our
Chicago,
at our high rise.
At the Chicago.
Yeah,
Right.
in Chicago, because we're in the city, right? So we parked our car a mile away. Every day I'd walk over there and grab our car just to save
And we
money
had
on
one
parking.
car for
We
the two
shared
of
one
us.
car. We never had cable. We walked everywhere. Even if a train stop, I was 2 stops away. Instead of paying $2 to take the red line or whatever, one of those lines out there, I just walk it anyways. Anything I can do to save. We walked miles.
Wow.
We did.
We just walked.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me was and the most impactful financially was just doing the rice and beans, literally for our food budget. We lived on $60 a week for 3 meals a day for the two of us, and that just really helped us reach our goals, but was really difficult.
Yes.
Really got tired of some foods. So we just had to really keep encouraging each other that this is temporary.
Yeah.
But we came into this marriage with a bunch of debt, and it just strengthened us in so many ways. All the difficult conversations we had, it was just you and I, and we were our biggest cheerleaders the whole way out.
What a way to start.
It was
your
just,
marriage.
it was a
Right,
blessing,
right.
We just went after it, and now we've got a brand new little boy who was born 3 months ago and stuff. And so, it's just awesome,
Very cool,
Yeah.
you guys.
Thank you.
I love that part though about the relationship, because there is something to be said that we live in such like a microwave culture, right? Like we just want the results. But when you have to walk a journey, and specifically when you're married and you do it together,
Right.
like what is formed in that relationship during the time that it's not easy, and it's like that dragging feeling, right? And thinking of the impossible, and then you cross the finish line together. It's like the victory is that much more sweet, right?
It's so
Right.
sweet.
Oh,
so sweet.
so
Rachel.
exciting. I love that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I told Scott recently that there were times in the middle where I would think like, man, I wish we were one of those couples that had $20,000 of debt, and it just felt like such a big mountain. But on the other side, I feel like, we may not have been changed in the way that we have been through the Lord's leading if it hadn't been so big.
Yeah.
So true.
Because it really required a lot of us.
Yep.
So even though it was really difficult, in retrospect, I'm grateful because I think if the amount weren't as big, we wouldn't have been changed as much.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
It's great.
Transform.
That's
the
it.
change of form.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah. Way to go, guys. So proud of you. All right. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Man, communication was key. I mean, we cut cable, so we actually had to have conversations with each other in this crazy world of technology. And so we actually had dinners together where we cooked together, we budgeted, we saved. A lot of Mexi bowls because of rice and beans and beans and rice. So, but communication and patience, diligence, and just don't give up. Just never give up, because it's only 34 months. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things. And
How's it feel now that you're done?
Oh my gosh, I've been teary all day. It feels
it's been awesome.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feels
so
Very good.
feels
Very
just
good. Who are your
super
biggest
grateful.
cheerleaders outside the two of you?
each other. My in-laws, though, they were the ones that introduced us to Total Money Makeover, and we read that thing so quick it was ridiculous. And then just after that, it was just take off. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Past
And
life.
Also listening in to the show and hearing other debt-free screams and seeing people with bigger amounts than ours, and different situations and other obstacles. That was really encouraging to see other people's stories and this is a dream come true to be here today.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, it's a dream come true to have you. Way to go, guys. Very, very proud of you. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires, which you already got, but we'll give you another one.
We'll take it.
And another copy of Total Money Makeover, which you already got, but you can have that too. You can give them both away. We'll go ahead and give you Christmas gifts for next year, but both #1 bestsellers, of course. We're so proud of you guys. Congratulations. Very, very, very
Are you going to
well
grab the
done.
babe?
We are.
Good.
Yeah,
Yes.
get Babe in the picture.
Oh, my
Cute.
goodness.
What is his name?
This is baby Bennett.
Baby Bennett, 3 whole months old.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't even know what's going on. Matter of fact, he's getting ready to be scared after this yell.
I know.
So you
You
want
got
the
this,
headphones
Bennett. You
for him
got
or
this.
anything? Yeah. All right. Scott and Molly and Bennett. I love it. $153,000 paid off in 34 months, and he'll be calling your high school soon to get the high school curriculum in, so you teachers answer up out there. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! And he's screaming.
Bennett's like, what?
Bennett's like,
Bennett,
what?
that's the best thing that's happened to you.
Love it. Oh, and they screamed anyway. Yeah, I love it.
Sweet thing.
This is the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. #1 best-selling author 3 times over. We're here to take your calls about your life, your money, your careers, your relationships. It's all here on The Ramsey Show. Ben is with us in Newark, New Jersey. Hi, Ben. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for taking my call. I greatly appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm 42 years old. I'd like to just kind of rattle off some numbers. Kind of maybe you could help me get organized and answer one of my questions. I'm currently debt-free, except I do have 2 investment properties. One's $190,000 that I have left on it, and another one for $160,000. I have $120 in mutual funds, $72K in an IRA. In my business, I have $70K, and I have an emergency fund of $60,000. So I guess where I'm at right now, based upon my age, is I'm wondering if I should I, since I have an emergency fund and I have a good amount of money on the side, keep letting that build for compound interest, because if maybe a tenant moves out, I have a good emergency fund saved up. Or should I be emptying out my mutual fund, take my business, some of my money that's in my business and my emergency fund and pay off one of the properties? So now I have 3 paid off properties. I don't know if I mentioned that too. I also have 2. I have my own residence that's paid off and another investment property paid off.
Okay. And what do you make a year?
I'm just trying to get organized.
What do you make?
Pretty much between 80 and 120. I work in the sports field. I own a sports training company.
Good for you.
So
well done,
varies,
sir. You've done a great job.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. You've been my mentor. You and everybody you've had on there has been absolutely amazing to me.
Well, thank
My
you.
wife loves you guys, too.
And here's the thing. I don't think you're as disorganized as maybe you feel like, because you were able to just rattle off your exact numbers. Sounds pretty organized to me. So, maybe what you want to do is, maybe the word's not disorganized. Maybe what you're saying is you want to reallocate some of this and start accomplishing some of these goals. Is that right?
Yes. I just don't know where to start. And
Okay.
I know you always say pay things off. I just
Sure.
wasn't sure.
Well, you've done a great job. I mean, you're sitting in baby step 6 because your rentals aren't yet paid off. And so what I would do if I were you is I would sit down and say, okay, I want to develop a plan to pay off these rentals. That's job 1 right now, while putting 15% of your income away into retirement. Now, so you've got what?
120 in a mutual fund.
Yeah, 120 in a mutual fund, and then you've got 300,000 and some change, 350,000 in rental debt, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, like you said, if you threw the 120 at the 160 rental, you know, and if you can scrape up another 30 or 40 in the next little while, or use some of your business emergency fund, but your business does need an emergency fund. It does need retained earnings. So I really wouldn't drain it all the way down. But if you pulled 40 out of it and use that mutual fund, then you only got the 190 left. You might build that business emergency fund back up a little bit after that, and then I would begin to just say, I'm going to direct all cash flow at that 190, laser focused, and knock it out. Would that be a plan?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I was just worried because I always just hear, people talking about, time in the market. And I figured if I took my 120 out,
Well, you want to be in the market for long term, but the reason for being in the market is have wealth. And what we're trying to do here is clear off debt. So the other option would be to sell one of the rentals. And I don't know if you want to do that or not.
No, they're renting. Everything's gone really well with them so far.
Well, I mean, you've listened to me long enough. You know I'm probably more pro real estate than I am mutual funds. I love both. I have a lot of money in both. But if I'm choosing, I'm going to choose real estate because I'm a real estate guru.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay,
so I'm using the 120 towards the 160. I might or might not use the company emergency fund. The thing about using it is it's going to increase your cash flow immediately because you got no debt on that rental, and that rental's cash flow goes through the roof all of a sudden. Like, what's the payment on the rental?
The one rental is $1,254. The other one's $1,508.
Okay, so $1,254 is going to be freed up day one if you do this. You could write checks today out of the mutual fund and out of the business emergency fund and have $1,254 a month cleared up. That's $14,400 a year.
Okay.
It's not the end of the world. You could do it. I mean, or if you want to just if you're not going to do that, I'd throw the 120 out of the mutual fund. For sure, I'm doing that one at the 160. And then cash flow, that last 40, and then and keep your emergency fund in the business if you want to. I don't care. None of this is on fire. None of this is gazelle intensity. This is all intentionality, not intensity. So it's kind of like we're just going around the Monopoly board and, we're just going to collect some money, go around again, collect some money, go around again, hit free parking, woohoo, right? And so I'm throwing the 120 at it today. I might throw 40 out of the business emergency fund, depending on how stable you feel like your business is. Then the next job is to rebuild that business emergency fund, followed by every other dollar of cash you can find. After that's done, start throwing at that 190. I'll bet you're done with that 190 in 3 years.
That's what we're hoping. We're actually expecting our first baby soon.
Oh.
So yeah. So I don't know if would that change anything that you're kind of spending?
No, it doesn't change any of this.
Months?
Because you're in good shape for the baby. Okay. You don't have to worry about the baby. Everything's good.
Thank you, Dave.
So it's just, listen, there's not a wrong answer here. You've done really smart. If you sit right where you are, you're not dumb.
Okay.
All I was doing is trying to tune it up a notch.
Okay.
You've done a great job. Just go ahead and just sit in that for a moment. You're sitting there with a lot of money. Good job.
So rentals it's a big thing, I feel like, or maybe it's just the season of life I'm in and knowing people and talking to people, but it feels like getting rental property is like, it's exciting and people are doing it more and more is what it feels like.
Real estate's quite the rage right now. You're right. It is.
So for you being a real estate guy and for someone listening that has a rental, they have debt on it, maybe they don't have a ton of cash to throw at it, all of that, keeping a rental and paying it off obviously is the goal, but that between the market, it could be a either or is kind of what you're telling him.
A decent rental that you paid a reasonable price for makes you more money than the stock market will make you. Okay, including the depreciation schedule, including the cash flow, including the appreciation, the increase in value. Those are the three places you get return on rentals. It's called an internal rate of return when you put them all three together. But it's more hassle.
Yes.
As you know, your husband Winston runs all of our rentals, and you guys have your rentals, so they're hassle. And mutual funds, you just open up the email and go, oh, there it is.
Right,
I mean, it's no hassle at all. You don't have to do anything. The mutual funds don't ever have a dog that pees in the living room floor. You know what I mean? So, but tenants do. And so
the cat no one told you about. The mutual fund doesn't have that.
The $10,000 cat. They will screw up a house. Okay, so yeah, stink. And so, man.
But over time, over time, real estate
is going to make you more money, but it costs you more emotional and time bandwidth. It's more hassle. And I don't want you keeping real estate under the heading of all real estate's good, because it's not, or all real estate's so good that I can justify debt to do it. No, you can't. If you're already there like he is, I'm not going to make you panic. I wouldn't tell you to panic. I can't make you do anything. But I wouldn't tell you to panic and jump out.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to get caught up in this get-rich-quick real estate vibe that's running around out there that says all real estate's good and the renters are going to pay my payments, which renters don't pay payments. You pay payments. Hopefully you collect rent.
Right.
But we'll see, and so that's just BS. The renter's going to pay it off. If the renter was going to pay it off, the renter would own it. Okay? That's just bunk. So don't fall into all that crap. But if you you can go slow about getting it paid off. So have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan to get them paid off, not a 15-year plan to get them paid off. Get them done. Get them done or get them sold. And some of them you own and they're not even making money. And all they are is a hassle. It's like a bad, ugly hobby. Sell the crap out of that. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your relationships, your mental health, your money, and your careers, all right here on The Ramsey Show every day. 888-825-5225. Bianca's with us in Boston. Hi, Bianca. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my husband and I are on baby step 2, and we've paid off all of our debt except for my student loan, which is the largest part of our debt. I was gifted about $6,000, or it was about $3,000 at the time, so it's more than doubled in size, an investment account when I graduated from high school, and I'm trying to figure out if I should take that out or if it will be too hard in tax implications to take that out, or if I should just leave it in there.
You should take it out and pay off your debt.
Okay. How should we plan for paying the tax off on that at the end?
What's it invested in?
It's just invested in mutual funds, so it's in a general brokerage account. It's not a retirement.
Okay. Where did you get it? Where'd you put in the $3,000? I was gifted to you, you said.
Yeah, so my grandparents had gifted it to me as a high school graduation gift.
Did they put $3,000 of cash in at that time, or was it an account they already had?
It was cash that they put in for me at that time.
All right. So your basis in this is $3,000. Anything over $3,000 is going to be taxed at capital gains rate of 15%. And so that's $450 if your total is $6,000, so your gain's $3,000 times 15% is $450.
Okay.
So just set aside $500 extra in your savings account when your tax bill comes a year from now, you'll be ready and use the rest of it for your debt.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot less than we expected. So that's hopefully that's that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's going to be it because it's a long-term capital gains. You've held it longer than a year. When you receive a gift, your basis in the gift is what the person paid for it, which in this case was $3,000. And so your gain is anything over the basis, and that is the gain is taxed at 15% on long-term capital gains. I'm not a tax expert, but that is the right answer. You can double check it with an actual tax expert.
The math that you can do in your head, Dave Ramsey, I just can't. I still can't. I'm like, oh my gosh. You just,
what?
I don't know. It's just quick math, just fast math. We grew up with T9 calculators in my day. We got a calculator.
I did see that meme the other day, which was really funny.
Everything. Which one?
It was like the take this 90s teacher. The teacher's standing up going, someday you're going to be in a situation where you don't have a calculator.
Okay.
They're like taking a test, and he's like holding his iPhone going, no,
yeah,
I'm not.
that's right.
No, I'm not. I'll never be in a situation where there's not a calculator. There's always a calculator. I'll never be in a situation where there's not a camera or a flashlight. I've got them all right here at all times.
It's so true. It's so true.
I'm crawling around in the parking garage last night with the flashlight looking for your mother's iPhone who had dropped hers out of the car in the parking garage. So, yeah, you've always got a flashlight. It's just...
You've hit your 60s.
It's like MacGyver. It's like MacGyver. You've got your little trick, your little Swiss pocket knife, Swiss Army knife right here, all built in.
It's so off subject, but there has to be something true about like the neurological part of your brain when you grew up having to do math in your head.
You know what it is?
And long division, or is
I've
it just
actually
you?
flexed that muscle doing the show for 30 years.
Okay, so it's
and
like
I can't do real math. I can do big math.
Yeah.
Round numbers.
Yeah.
I can do round numbers really, really fast. So you'll hear me round stuff and hit close.
Sure.
Okay, but and I used to run the calculator in the old days. I'd have it sitting here when I first started the show. But I got to where I just got impatient with that, and you could but it's a muscle. You just learn to do it. It's like memory. You'll be able to do it in a couple minutes.
I know.
Just a couple minutes.
I don't know. I feel like I have to write on 15%. Okay, 15 of 3,000.
0.15.
It'd be 300 at 10%, bumping up a little bit.
There you go.
There you go.
That's not bad.
Or, as we're talking about, we'll get to a call, James. James, like, y'all shut up. Or Dave Math. Dave Math is like, Dave's like, you're going to have $1 billion at age 65. I'm like, I don't know if that's right. That's called Dave Math. So
Dave Math is exaggeration.
You have Big Math, and you have Dave Math. And Dave Math is funny.
Okay.
Funny.
All right. Let's just keep moving here. Craig is in Pittsburgh. Hey, Craig, how are you?
Hello there.
Hey.
Hi to both of you. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So my wife and I found you guys about 2 years ago. I like to think God led me to you, but we're currently on baby step 4, 5, and 6. We've got a daughter in college that we're cash flowing. We have a son who's a sophomore we're saving college for. We're investing in retirement at 15%.
Good for you.
And we're still trying to put extra to the mortgage every month.
Good.
So listening to the show for a couple years, my question is, when people were in baby step 3C saving for a down payment on a house, we have $325,000 in our retirement accounts right now. We still got a ways till retirement, about 15 years or so. So if I invest nothing based on your rule of 7, I'm figuring that grows to about $1.3 million in 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be worthwhile pausing investment for a couple years because we're putting so much cash into college to help pay down our mortgage, which is at about $175?
We don't teach people to do that, and the reason we don't is that you're going. Let me just tell you, okay, you're going to be fine if you don't use our system and you use that system. But that's not what we teach. Okay, the reason we teach people not to do that is let's say you do that for 5 years. That's 5 years of money that you couldn't keep away from the government.
Okay.
You can never go back in retro and do Roth IRAs for the last 5 years. You can only do them in the year that you're allowed to do them. You cannot go back retro and fill your 401k. You can only fill it out of your payroll right then, that month, that year. And so those years that you were going to park that money and it was going to be growing tax-free in Roth are gone forever. And here's the other thing. If you run the numbers out, it doesn't change the payoff date on the house that much. Okay, let's say the kids are done with, for simplification, let's run a little math. Let's say the kids are done with school. Okay?
Yes.
Now, what's your household income?
We're about 180.
Okay, so let's call it $28,000 a year is 30%, right?
Right. That's what we're doing.
So $28,000 a year is 30%. So if we quit doing, if we quit is 15%. I'm sorry. So if we quit doing that, it gains us $28,000 towards $175. But you make $180.
Right.
The way you get the house paid off is not the $28. It's get the kids out of school and then tighten the budget and hit the house with the rest of it. The $30,000 towards $175 is not going to be your secret pill. It's not enough. It doesn't change them. It changes your house payoff date by maybe 2 years or something like that.
And you miss the market when you pause the retirement.
And you miss all those, that sheltered income. Yeah, so you're changing the numbers by only about 2 years. And that's usually the way it works out, by the way. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Money's one of the biggest sources of stress for married couples. Everyone's dealt with it, including Sharon and I. We'll be married 40 years this summer. And Sharon always says we've had 33 good years of marriage. Hey, it's normal,
What does that
man.
mean? 7 left?
I'm kidding. not the last 7, but yeah, you just spattered throughout the 40. But hey, this is when we figured out that this money thing was a big deal. We set out to learn the right way of managing money, and it changed our marriage. So this Valentine's Day, instead of an ordinary date night, put an end to money stress in your marriage, or bless a couple who's planning to tie the knot. Our Valentine's Day sale includes all kinds of gifts that'll help you strengthen your marriage, and they're as much as 83% off. The brand new Questions for Humans conversation cards for couples. Now, I got to tell you, this little box of conversation cards looks like playing cards, and you just got a question you ask, and it spurs conversation, has sold faster than just about anything we have ever put in our bookstore. You people have gone nuts over this. Thank you. We appreciate it. John Deloney thanks you. We appreciate it. You get 55 conversation starters that'll help you connect with your spouse, laugh together, share some truly meaningful quality time. You can gift our popular bundle, the Wedding Pack, for newlyweds, engaged couples. And these aren't your ordinary Valentine's Day gifts. Go to our online store at Ramsey Solutions. Shop the Valentine's Day sale to get up to 83% off before it ends. And Rachel and John are doing the Money and Marriage live stream on Friday night.
I know. Just a few, I guess tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yes.
For those of you listening live, it's
Yep,
tomorrow
for listening
night.
live. Yep.
Friday night, the 11th, and it's going to be a couple hours long.
Yeah.
So
about hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna talk through 5 different conversations to have with you and your spouse need to have. So it's everything from goals to fear to trust to asking for what you need, intimacy, all of it. So it's great. Yeah. It's always fun. 2 great
topics. It's only
topics.
like $20.
Yeah, just go to RamseySolutions.com, get the tickets, or get the code, I guess is what it would be.
Yeah,
but join us. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night, and I think, there's so much content out there these days, right? Like you're just bombarded. So just like I don't know, trick your spouse. Say you're going to watch Yellowstone. And then, boom, here we are.
You've already caught up on
the
it.
TV.
Maybe you've already seen the season ending. And so, okay. Well, 1783, yeah.
But no, it's always a fun event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, join us.
Yeah, check that out. And those of you that are Ramsey Plus members already, it's free to watch it, so make sure you plan on tuning in. Don't miss that as well. All right, open phones at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, new promos all the time. It's a great American company. Great blinds and window coverings for your house. Use the promo code Ramsey and you'll get a great deal.
Today's question comes from Michael in Wisconsin. My wife and I retired, and we have a few goals that we'd like to accomplish. We'd like to remodel our home and buy an RV for travel. We have a substantial retirement investments nearing a 7-figure sum. I would like to use our home equity to finance the remodel, the travel trailer, and newer truck. We would then increase the withdrawals from our investments to pay off the HELOC. What do you think about this plan? Oh, Michael, not a great plan. No, I mean, you're going to go backwards. You guys are in retirement.
You got $1 million.
Just pay for the stuff.
Cash out some and fix your house and buy a truck, dude. That's why you did this. Don't go in debt. No.
The HELOC.
No. Man, it's hard to get away from debt in this culture. It is so freaking insidious. It's just everywhere. Crammed down your throat all the time.
And what's interesting is because I'm assuming the reason, not to put assumptions on Michael, but it's the feeling of, okay, I could just take money. I don't have to take a big chunk out and pay for all this at once because that feels scary. So I'm going to just do a little bit at a time. But what's not factored in is that little bit of a time. You're adding risk onto your life when you owe money on stuff, and specifically stuff that's going down in value. No, Michael.
The borrower's slave to the lender. You've got
plan.
almost $1 million. You know, you said that's what you said. Nearing a 7-figure sum. So buy you a truck, buy you a trailer, remodel your house, or don't. But pay for it if you're going to do it. If you're too cheap to do it and pay cash for it, then don't use a HELOC and make it feel like you didn't really do it. Mm-hmm. There's a form of financial denial in things, like you didn't really spend the money when you borrow it. Brianna is with us. Brianna is in Salt Lake City. Hey, Brianna, what's up?
Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Great, how are you?
Doing well. So I just have a question. So I currently work in a hospital part-time, and I also am starting up, well, it's a business that I've had for the last 2 years, which unfortunately when I first started it, it was 2 weeks right before the pandemic had started. And but this year I'm finally going to be able to have a consistent schedule because my husband's schedule changed. And I'm also going to school to get into nursing school. And on top of all that, I'm a mom of 5 from kids from ages 8 to 1.
Well, you're bored.
So I know, right? There's not much to do here.
Anybody ever tell you you're trying to do too much at once?
My husband, actually, this morning just
because he hasn't seen you in a while?
He sees me, but he doesn't have me there when he sees me. Yeah. It's been one of those, I'm trying to do what I can for our family, but also trying to find balance in everything. And there's a lot of fear behind the decisions I'm trying to decide on. And like going to school, I'm trying to get into nursing school.
What do you do for a living?
Which is so I work as a tech on a labor and delivery unit, and my business that I actually do is I do permanent cosmetics.
Okay. So 10 years from today, what is it you want to be doing? Permanent cosmetics, nursing?
So, yeah, the ultimate goal is to have my nursing where I can incorporate like Botox and lip fillers, like cosmetic stuff into my permanent makeup that I do right now.
And you have to have a nursing degree for that. I know there's different licenses you have to have, but I didn't know it specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, but even just like my microblading, that's what it specifically I do with permanent makeup. I can make a decent amount of money monthly, definitely way more than what I make working part-time at the hospital right now. But the fear is like letting go of that secure pay.
How much does your husband make?
So my husband makes $56,000 a year.
And what are you making at the permanent makeup thing?
If I do it consistently and work my butt off, I could be making around $3,500 to $4,500 a month.
Okay. All right. And what do you make at the labor and delivery?
$21,000.
Quit.
Yeah.
And don't go to nursing school right now. And grow, grow your business and grow your kids.
Yeah.
Grow your business and grow your kids. If you need a different license, if you need to add nursing later, 5 years from now, to continue to mature your business, you may just hire a nurse, or you may hire someone that is licensed to do that stuff.
Yeah, Brianna, I got my appointment March 1, and it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. So, Brianna, kill it, girl. I
would quit doing the 21,000. I'd pay attention to my kids, and I'd grow my business. And love your husband.
Sounds good.
You're going to enjoy your life better. And I wouldn't go to nursing school until you had to, and I probably wouldn't ever go. I'd just hire a nurse or hire a medical whatever that you need to do to be legal in your state to do whatever it is, the flip you do. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, New York Times multiple times. My co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jimmy and Jade are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We live in Mogador, Ohio.
Which is near?
Akron.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good. Cool. Good to have you guys. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off?
$45,000.
Woo! How long did that take?
About 3 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
$50,000 to $100,000.
Good for you. Man, you guys have been getting it.
How old are you guys?
I'm 22.
And I'm 25.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome, y'all. That's awesome.
So you started this when you were 19?
Pretty much, yeah.
How long y'all been married?
9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, congrats.
Okay, so you started as singles.
Yep.
Combined and finished.
Yep.
Correct.
Very good. Cool. All right, so what kind of debt was this?
About $25,000 was my student loans, and the rest were car loans.
Okay, so each of you had a car loan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had the student loans.
I did, yes.
Okay, cool. Very cool. You guys started young on this.
Yeah.
So what's the story? Are you financial peace babies? Mom and dad were doing this stuff or what?
I was introduced to it in high school, but I didn't really take advantage.
Oh, you went the high school curriculum.
Well, we did the envelope system.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
But I didn't apply it. I went to college, took out a bunch of loans, and just decided when we were getting ready to get married, I didn't want to carry that into our marriage, so I want to take responsibility for it and get it done. So, Yep.
All right, and so you look at the fiance, and Jimmy says what?
Yeah, I don't really want your loans, so let's get them done.
I want you, but I don't want Sally.
Right.
I don't like Sally Mae.
Yeah, I like you. Don't like her. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's awesome.
Your ugly roommate has got to go.
That's awesome, you guys. Okay, so I think this is always so unique because you get people on the stage from all different walks of life, stages of life, all of this. But you guys are on the younger side for sure. Mm-hmm. And you're like starting out your lives, you're starting out your marriage like this. So what was the first 9 months of marriage like, having a goal? Because I mean, the way you guys are unified now, people want that have been married 30 years. And you guys are doing this, I mean, from the beginning, which is awesome. So what was it like working together for those 9 months?
I think it was pretty, it wasn't, I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't, we made it easy on each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just simple stuff like not eating out for lunch with the guys and, just following the steps that she told me. So
he learned early. That's good. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
I worked heavy construction for a while. Now I'm in school. So
What are you studying?
Auto tech.
Good for you. And paying cash as you go, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah. And how much did you owe on your car, Jimmy?
I think it was about $12,000.
Okay, so you had the bigger car loan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good for you
That's
guys.
awesome, you guys.
Thanks.
Very, very well done. All right. Who are your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you? Once you start doing this, you start telling this to people, and your family either looks at you and goes, "You've lost your mind and joined a cult," or they go, "This is the smartest thing you've ever done. I wish I'd done it when I was your age."
Yeah.
Right, definitely our family. My brother actually works here, so he motivated us.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Who's your brother?
Who's your brother?
Jaron Smith.
Oh
my gosh. Okay.
That's so fun.
Cool. Okay.
Didn't make that connection. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's given us all the material, helping us through the steps. So he definitely challenged us to stay on it.
Oh, yeah. He can ship you cases of the Kool-Aid.
Oh, he does. He does. Trust me.
This is great. Very cool. Who else was cheering you on?
Our parents.
Okay,
Yep.
good. So they believed in common sense, too, then.
They did.
Yeah.
They definitely instilled that at a young age. That.
So what do a lot of your friends think? Because you guys are at the prime age, I feel like, when, you're paying off your debt. And
hey, my perception of the 22-year-old age group is exactly...
I had a question.
Yeah, it's exactly... I was going to piggyback on your question.
Piggyback.
It's the same question.
Okay.
I'm going to jump on ride here.
Okay, go.
So my perception is that there's no middle ground. That people you guys' age are either doing this stuff or they completely are on the other side and they think you're nuts. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Correct.
Okay.
There you go. That's great.
What are
Yes.
your friends? So what are your friends saying? One or the other, right?
Well, yeah. A lot of my friends, some went to college straight out of high school, and some just went to work. And I think, waiting to figure out what you really want to do instead of taking out massive loans and going to a ginormous college really helped. That set up a lot of my friends and guys I hung around with in a bad way.
So you guys through this process though, where some of your friends are just paying probably minimum payments or maybe nothing right now because of everything going on, right? So what do they think? Do they think, golly, that's impossible that you guys did that? Are they encouraging with it? Like I'm just curious their take on everything.
I think it's just a lot of them are just have nice cars, buying homes, and we're kind of doing the opposite. We're saving for a down payment. We're not jumping into those things. So we are a little bit outside of the norm, but
yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. Way to go, guys.
Thanks.
You guys are amazing. What a power couple, man. You're going to be killing it. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very, very neat. Well, I get to, on this stage and in a lot of other settings as well, run into a ton of 22 and 25 and 26-year-olds. We've got a bazillion that work here from 25 to 30. Out of our 1,200 people here, the average age is under 30. So I get to hang out with very, very smart and very driven and very crusade, mission-minded young people all day long. So it just gives me great hope for the future of our culture and our nation, because you do see all the morons out there within any generation.
Yeah.
Every generation's got a percentage of absolute morons.
Yeah.
And so yours included. But sometimes the millennials were the first ones to get a bad
We can get a bad rap.
But a bad rap about being entitled or arrogant. And I find the same thing with millennials. I think there's no middle ground. They're either awesome or they suck. I mean, it's just incredible. So you guys are on the awesome bucket. So I'm so proud of you guys. Well done.
Thanks.
Got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you.
Yes, sir.
And that's the next chapter in your story for sure. #1 bestseller, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, How You Can Too. Can you imagine how rich they're going to be at 22? He starts this.
Well, I was about to say, can't. I mean, it's like people are listening right now and they're like, God, what if I had done that at 22, you know? So you guys are awesome. I mean, you really are. And the fact that you sacrificed at this time in life, and not saying that the sacrifice wasn't difficult for you guys by any means, but you know, once you have kids and you're living life and you're used to a certain living and you got to really pull back, like, but you guys are like, it was perfect. Like, it was perfect where you guys are when you started together, married, all of it, finished it. I mean, it's just awesome. I think the future is unbelievably bright, and that's what's amazing. We say changing your family tree, and there's no stopping that for you guys. I mean, the math is just going to explode in every which way to your direction. So congrats, you guys.
You so
your
much.
hard work, it paid off early, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
When their parents are jumping up and down because they know they'll never live in their basement. Oh, way to go, guys. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to one of your doubting friends. So we'll disrupt their lives a little bit. That's one of our goals. So good for you guys. All right, it's Jimmy and Jade. Very impressive. Akron, Ohio. $45,000 paid off in 3 years. Started as two singles and then finished as a married couple, making $50,000 to $100,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready?
Yep.
1,
3,
2.
Start with 3.
Start over. You can do this.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
I love it. That is so fun.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine? I can't do the math. It's too far out.
Oh, you can't.
So
do some Dave math.
22,
that would be fun.
From 22 to 62, you invest $15,000 a year. They make $100,000, and they never get a raise. That's I can tell you that it is north of $10 million. Okay, it's probably north of $20 million, but I'm not positive about that. I'm positive it's north of 10. But if they just invest 15% of their income, if that's all they ever do, and they never get a raise, which those two are going to get raises, they're going to double their income.
Sure, yeah.
They're going to be, and so how wealthy they're going to be. I mean, we're looking at not just millionaires, but decamillionaires. And they really don't even have to strain to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not living in a cave collecting lint. They're just going to be steadily investing intentionally while they live their lives. They'll be baby steps millionaires in no time, and then they'll move on from there. Very, very important. Very cool. Very inspiring. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your work, your mental health, your relationships, your money. It's what we do at Ramsey. Thank you for joining us. Kevin is with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave, Rachel. Thank you so much for taking my call. Give you a little backstory here. 20 years ago, I'm a 40-year-old divorced father raising a 10-year-old with $25,000 in my retirement, $40,000 in debt. I got focused, didn't know about you, but I came out and I'm sitting on about $1.9 million right now with investments in retirement. And,
way to go!
Nice.
We're looking at, thank you.
How'd you do that?
I put money away. I just
mutual funds in your 401k.
Mutual funds, 401k. Did some trading on a couple of ETFs, and just live below my means. So just got gazelle intense, as you say. Matter of fact, I hunted it down and I killed it and I ate it.
Yeah, you're amazing, man. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Just just laser focused, and that's part of the issue that I'm facing right now. Is that I'm met with the SmartVestor Pro. Matter of fact, I just got off the phone with them a little while ago. I'm going to go on board with them, but I've driven this boat or this bus for so long on my own. I'm just having trouble with the perception that I'm letting go of things, and need to kind of get some advice from you or some wisdom to kind of walk through that process.
Well, the SmartVestor Pro, if they're doing their job properly, shouldn't be asking you to let go of it. They should be helping you. They should be helping you be a GPS while you drive it.
Yeah, and this individual that we've met with, he's answered all the right questions, and I feel very comfortable. But there's just a part of me on the inside that says, you've done this on your own for so long.
Well, I do it on my own. My SmartVestor Pro just gives me some ideas.
Okay.
And then we talk about it, and then he goes and does the one that I like. So I'm still driving.
Okay.
He's just my GPS.
Gotcha.
I might be a little bit more efficient because in the multitude of counsel there's safety, because I'm learning things from him that I might not have known on my own. Or maybe I've got a little better timing on something, or maybe I don't miss a tax thing that I could have done and I almost screwed it up and just about missed the deadline, and he keeps me from doing that. So it's fine-tuning and direction and advice, but we're not handing over the steering wheel.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. Does that feel different than what you thought?
No, it does. It's just that I've driven the bus for so long that it's just, I feel like it's, I've always had control. And to be honest with you, we reached out to them because I'm concerned going into the next 5 to 7 years into retirement that maybe I don't have myself in the best position for retirement or mandatory minimum withdrawals.
Yeah, but the point is, he can give you the nuances of that stuff, and you can talk through options. And, he may just give you 1 or 2 ideas that are different, and you can look at them and decide to do them or not do them. But what I always do is I'll call up my guy and just go, hey, listen, I'm going to put X number of dollars over here, and I'll park it over there for about 4 years. Give me some ideas of what you think we ought to do, and he'll bring them up. And I've pulled up a few on my own, and I'll compare them, and we'll talk it through. We'll kind of argue it out like 2 friends arguing that over a cup of coffee, right? But it's my money. I get to decide. So, Rachel, you and Winston have a SmartVestor Pro. Talk about how y'all do it.
It's all of that. And actually, Kevin, I was in a content meeting right before I came on the show, and one of the guys on our team, we were talking about SmartVestors and investing professionals and doing kind of a show specifically on that. And he was like, yeah, the thing I love about SmartVestors is exactly what you said, Dave. It's so funny. He said, I literally have his cell phone number. So I'll text him and be like, hey, my wife and I were thinking about buying this house. And, you just talk back and forth. So it's just having another person in your corner. It's just like having a team. But it's not like you're, that they're completely taking over. But I could see the feeling, though, Kevin, if you've been pushing all the buttons this long, to allow someone else to do that, it's a little bit of an extension of you. So that extension can feel a little odd at first.
You've been the Lone Ranger, but here comes Tonto to help.
Yeah, but so I think that, I think there's probably a natural strangeness to the change, which would make sense. But when you kind of just delegate it for them to push the buttons, you still have the say in it. There's that. And then, Kevin, too, like you said, I'm like, there is something to be said that these people eat, live, and breathe this world. So things that you may not even be thinking about, they may be able to just to bring up, and it's just having that that extra mind in this game with you.
Winston was telling me about a move that Drew suggested your ELP the other day that I thought was just brilliant. I hadn't even thought of it in your old situation. It was just he added it was about a $50,000 tax savings.
Oh, yeah.
On one little move.
Yeah,
it was pretty substantial.
Yeah,
and but I didn't even think about it, and I know it. And totally. Winston knew it.
Yeah.
But we just hadn't, and he just brought it to the table. So you don't ever want to hear, anytime, Kevin, you hear people say stuff like, my guy told me I couldn't buy a car. My guy told me I couldn't remodel the kitchen. Well, your guy is freaking confused, okay? He's not the guy. You're the guy. So when people say stuff like that, I just cringe because that means they're getting ready to lose their money and they won't even know why. And so your guy doesn't tell you anything. You tell your guy what's going to happen. You see the difference?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And so it is it's a little bit invasive in that there's people kind of going through your underwear drawer a little bit, but they also can help you make better decisions, overall. But again, the decision always rests on you. Do I turn left? Do I turn right? I'm still driving the bus.
Yep.
And as long as you keep that control, we never suggest you get rid of that. Anytime someone turns over their money, they're going to be disappointed. I wouldn't, as an investment professional today, with the fiduciary world out there, I wouldn't take on a client that wouldn't participate. Because I think they're always going to be mad because you're never going to live up to their expectations.
Yeah.
Because they're always going to read something or hear something somewhere that you weren't able to do or didn't do.
Right.
And so if you take over their money and babysit, I think you're setting yourself up for a problem.
That's
but
a great point.
if they're in there participating with you, then they made the decision. It's like, when I get Sharon involved on all major decisions, she and I make all major decisions together. And that means she can't say I told you so if it goes bad. Because she had her chance.
She was in it.
She was in the deal. It's helpful. It's helpful. Fred's with us in Cleveland. Hi, Fred. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for everything you and Rachel do. My wife and I are recently retired. We are in the giving generously stage.
Cool.
Our Smart Investor Pro has put us in a good position. We've got about a $3 million of assets.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of my wife. She's
I'm a little bit short on time, and I don't want to mess you up. Ask your question real quick.
Okay, we've got about $120,000 we're looking to give to our children and spouses, or possibly use the whole amount to pay off our son-in-law's debt. Looking for pros and cons.
If you give it all to one kid, what are you going to do with the other kids?
Well, that's one of the questions.
Yeah, that's a con.
We come to an agreement and say, hey, when we finally pass away and the estate gets distributed, you get that much less.
Well, that'd be okay if everybody's got that. If we all talk about that at the kitchen table one night and everybody's cool with it. By the way, our family would be cool with that. Our kids would look at us and go, "Yeah, that's cool," because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them. But you got to get everybody's buy-in. You got to get everybody's buy-in, and everybody way they don't.
How many kids, Fred? How many?
We have 3 kids and 3 spouses. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know the gift tax limitations, right?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
And so how you can move that money around. And
the easy fair thing is just obviously a third, right? Everyone gets a 3, and then the son-in-law that has the debt hopefully puts a lot of it towards it and ends up paying it off. But
yeah, it's whatever you can afford to do. But you got $3 million, you could give that much to everybody and still be okay, actually.
Yeah.
So that's a fourth option that we hadn't talked about. But what if you're going to do something that's unequal and the rest of it's going to come out of the estate, just have a meeting and have everybody be on board. That's all I ask. And I think they will be. I got a sense from your spirit that your kids probably have that same spirit. This is The Ramsey Show.
It's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author multiple times, is my daughter and my co-host today. We're taking your calls about your relationships, your mental health, your work, career, and your money. It's a free call, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Michael is with us. Michael's in Chicago. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
I had a quick question for you. I'm a little older, not terribly old, but my kids are freshmen in high school and approaching high school age. Just about to finish baby step 2. It's been a pretty long grind for about the past 2 years. And curious on what you think about home equity line of credit, if I keep that in baby step 2 or if I move it to 4, 5, and 6.
How much is it?
It's about $85,000.
What's your household income?
Around $250,000.
I would keep it in 2.
Okay, because
you can move it to 6 if you move it to 6 if you want to, but I just refinance your house if you're going to.
Okay, I think that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Here's why. Okay, the rule of thumb we use is if it's less than half your annual income, we leave it in 2. Okay, and yours is. It's not a bunch less, but it's less. And, so it's not unusual for somebody maybe to call and say, in your situation, they got a $20,000 home equity line. Well, you treat that like a credit card debt. You knock it out, right? But in your case, I see what you're doing. You're coming to the end of your debt snowball, and you're like, I need to get to work on these kids' college. I make a good income. What's your interest rate on your first mortgage?
4.
Yeah, and you refinance the whole puppy, and you'll be better off anyway.
Yeah, that's what I think. Just wanted to get your confirmation.
Yeah. What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and especially the age of your kids and where you guys are, your stage of life. I'm like, I think rolling into the mortgage, I think is
we're
great.
Behind on, baby step 4 and the college stuff. So I think I'd need to start prioritizing that as well.
Yeah. And a 15-year fix, though. No more.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Hey, have at it, brother. Good job. Good question.
Great question.
Adam is with us. Adam is in Denver. Hey, Adam, what's up?
Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Good, man. How can we help?
Well, just wanted to see what your opinion was on this. I have $50,000 in debt, credit cards, and a car, but I am getting married in August, and we also have trying to move out of our parents as we're getting married, or I guess before. I don't know if I should focus on the wedding or debt, paying off debt and then the wedding. I want to see what your thoughts were.
It's a lot, Adam, that you got going on. I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely the debt. I mean, the debt and the wedding is what I would focus on. And when you have debt, though, your wedding is not going to be huge and glamorous. Are you guys paying for it?
No.
No?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do it in cash. We're gonna save up for it. Our budget is around $3,000 for it, and I think you can make it, but that will be not paying off debt.
How much do you make a year?
Well, I currently got a new job this year, and it's $35. So it's supposed to be a year, and then she also works, making around $20 a year.
What does she do?
She works at a store at a mall.
Okay.
How old are you guys?
I'm 26 and she's 21.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so you have a $55,000 income. You need $3,000 for a wedding and $50,000 to get debt-free, and you need to move out of the house, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. You're talking about moving. You're talking about moving out of. You're talking about moving out of your parents' house after August, correct?
Well, before that way, I have a roof for her to live in, and I think that would be ideal to be in our own place after we get married instead of after.
Yeah, but you can do that in August.
Yeah, I guess that's right after the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the week before or whatever. So what I would tell you is this. Moving into the place shouldn't be that expensive. You are going to take on rent, and it's going to reduce your ability to pay off debt at that point. So first goal is save $3,000 for the wedding and lay out a detailed budget of exactly what you're going to do with the $3,000 and exactly what the wedding is going to be. And I did not like the language you used around the wedding. You said, we are going to try to pay cash. No, honey, you're going to pay cash. No changes. Okay. No changes. I don't want to hear about anything. Okay, whatever you save up for the wedding, you can use on the wedding. If you want to make it $5,000, that's fine with me. But you do that first, and you lay out a detailed plan. This is how much the photographer is going to be. This is what we're spending on the reception. This is how much the dress is. This is how much the location is. That's what we're paying the preacher. Okay.
Okay.
Every dollar, it's a project. You're managing a project. Okay. Now, once you've got that project detailed out and you've got that funded, then your next goal is to save up a little bit of money to make the move out. You're going to need some deposits, some first month's rent, some utility deposits, and a few other things. So you're going to need another $3,000 or $4,000. If you do those two things by August, you probably did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Adam, I would encourage her that right now in this job market, you can make a lot of money. I know she's working at the mall, but I'm like, I'm hearing $25.
Her job sucks.
Yeah, like $25 to drive a shuttle at the Nashville airport. I saw a sign. I was like, oh my God, $25 an hour? I was like, that's so much money. So, there are other options. So I really would push her because I think she could even get close to doubling her income by just not only just working more, but a totally different line of work. I'm like, go do an admin role or be a receptionist somewhere. You know what I mean? Find something that brings in more money because that's just going to give you guys way more margin in this discussion as well.
So what I'm saying is if you have $10,000 saved between now and August, I think you did a pretty good job. And some of that's for the wedding and some of that's for getting into the new apartment. And then as soon as you get married and get into the new apartment, then the two of you do everything you can to ratchet your incomes up. You do everything. You work extra. You take extra jobs, side hustles, whatever you want to call them, and you attack this debt with a vengeance, the two of you. How much do you owe on your car?
Yeah. I believe it's down to $14,000. We got it for $20,000. We've been paying for it for a while now. We're almost there.
We aren't anywhere. You are. Her name's not on the car.
Okay. Well, it's hers, I guess, and she's helping me out paying it. But you're right. I should be the one.
It's her car, and she's helping you out paying it. Are you driving it?
Right. No, she is. I got it for her under my name because I had one, but I got in a car accident, and so I just got me a beater, and then later on her
So
car
this is your car, and your girlfriend's driving your car.
Fiance.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's just treat this right. Let's keep the stuff straight.
Yeah.
It's not ours until we're married because there is no us until we're married financially or legally. So we got to get that straight. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's get in attack mode and knock those two things out, and then knock the debt out after you get married. Yes, you need to move out. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
So let me ask you a question. When you think of a millionaire, what kind of job do you picture them having? Maybe they're an NFL star or a high-powered executive in the corner office. Well, here's the thing. Only 15% of millionaires only have jobs like VP or CEO executive jobs. The reality is the top 5 careers for millionaires in America are number 1, engineer, number 2, accountant, number 3, teacher, number 4, manager, which would include CEO or VP, and attorney. And that's just one of the many surprising things our team found when we conducted the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America. Huge study, airtight research. They talked to 10,000 millionaires to find out who they really are and how they really achieved that goal. The study also made it clear that one way to become a millionaire, you've got to invest steadily, wisely, consistently, and a big part of that is getting good investing advice. 78% of the millionaires use an investing pro. You need to work with an investing pro who can help you walk with you and teach you about the options that are right for you. You drive the bus, but they are the GPS. They show you where to turn. My team recommends trustworthy, vetted investing pros from all over the country. We call them SmartVestor Pros. To get in touch with a SmartVestor Pro in your area, go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor and start building wealth today. RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. Rachel is with us in New Jersey. Hey, Rachel, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
So I'm struggling a little bit right now with trying to figure out how to do a budget. Right now, my husband and I are both on board that we want to be debt-free, but every time I bring up like Dave Ramsey or financial peace, it's kind of like your name is the curse word in our house a little bit. And so my husband is saying, yes, we'll do a budget, but I don't want any part of it. Just tell me what the budget is and then I'll do it. And when I try and figure it out, I'm just so overwhelmed with trying to figure out what we have and what money is going where. So I just need a little bit of advice on how to tackle it head on and not be so overwhelmed and get us both on the same page.
Yeah, it's a great question, Rachel, because I think your circumstance is very normal. And I think naturally in any relational dynamic, there's going to be the one that's wanting it more than the other. I think that kind of just happens, right? There's one that thrives more in it than the other. But both working together and being on the same page can look a lot of different ways. So there's a part of me that could see this going that, yes, you are overwhelmed, but figuring out the numbers, going back to last month's to your checking account, pulling stuff, getting all of that. Yeah, it's going to take work and it's a lot. Like I understand that. But the part that I'm like, about is that it's not that he's saying, hey, once you do it, then I'll get on board, because he's not even wanting to help in any level of the process of wanting to help you. And that's where a little bit of the red flag goes up for me, where I'm like, man, I wish he stepped in a little bit more on the logistical side, because you're having trouble with it. Right. So I think going to him and expressing, have you told him, like, have you said out loud, I am struggling with this. I need someone else to walk with me and help me with this.
Yes. And what's frustrating is I'll say, hey, tonight, can we set aside time to figure out a budget? And he'll say yes. And then we never end up being able to do it. Or I'll ask him, like, all right, how much money do you think we're going to need for this month? And every month it's, I don't know. I can't predict an entire month of what I'm going to need. And just tell me what the allowance is, and then I'll spend it. Like, I'm not going to fight you on it. But I just feel like I can't figure it out on my own.
No, absolutely. And then in that conversation, it's like you being his mom and telling him what he can do versus you guys being a team. So for him, I want to know, what is it that makes him so reluctant? What is it that is he distracted? Is there other things going on? Is he stressed? Like, what's going on?
And I think a big part of it is he didn't have to do any of this growing up. Like, he never knew how to pay bills, and his mom did do everything for him. So trying to do a budget or anything financial just gets him so overwhelmed where he just shuts down and then doesn't want any part of it. And he's just like, oh, whatever, tell me what to do and I'll do it. But he's never had to have the responsibility of doing it on his own.
How old are you guys?
28 and 29.
How long have you been married?
About 3 years.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, what is his reaction? Why is his reaction negative to Ramsey things? Because you've used it as a weapon?
I don't even know if it's been a weapon. I think it's just
It just
maybe he
represents something he didn't want to fool with.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you separate the Ramsey stuff out from it completely, from the discussion completely, because this is a marriage breakdown. You need your man to be a man.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean he needs to be an equal partner where both of you are carrying the weight together. Not he needs to come in and save the day, or not he needs to do everything and you just sit to the side and drink mint juleps. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we have two grown adults that both have intellect and we're both carrying the weight and we're both making decisions together about our future. I don't want to be your mommy and tell you what to do. I want a man that will sit beside me and we make decisions for the future together. So, Bubba, man up. That's really what this comes down to. And if he can't get that message in some way or another, gentle or blunt, I need you as my man to sit with me and help me do this, and you just tossing it over and you tossing it aside makes me feel like you're tossing me aside. That's a phrase you could use. That's not threatening him or calling him out, but I need you to be the man here. I can't deal with you being a little boy.
And it's that too, Rachel, that, the budget for me always represents other things, right? So for you wanting to do a budget, it's because, and I don't know what your why is, but is it because there's a level of fear that I just need to make sure everything's going to be taken care of, that everything's okay. A level of that you feel out of control with money. And it's I want to control, there's a why behind you wanting to budget and become debt free and all of these things. And expressing that why, right? Because it's not really, yes, the budget is the example, but what's hurtful in the situation is that you guys aren't a team and he's not hearing you and coming to the table. So that's the issue, right? To walk through. And it's a hard one because that opens up, it's a marital issue at that point. It's not a budget issue. And that's when...
Let me give you an example, okay? Do y'all have children?
We do. We have 2 children.
Does he do the same thing with the kids?
No, and for everything else, we've always been very in sync, but it's just something about...
Both of you carrying the weight.
Yeah, and everything has always been very...
Then just use that as an example. This is the one area of our marriage where I'm the only one doing the grown-up stuff. You're doing the grown-up stuff with me on everything else. And I need you to be the man and walk beside your woman, and we need to be making good decisions together on money like we do with the kids, like we do on other things. We're so in sync on other things.
And there's a point, Rachel, too, that, if money is not his strength, because that's more me in our marriage, which is so funny. If it was up to me to literally make sure every single bill was paid every month, we may be late 1 or 2 times. Winston is just good at it, right? He's just more naturally organized and all of that. So in our marriage, now, it's been 12 years, but we do the budget together. But beforehand, he would actually do it. So what your husband's saying, hey, you do the budget and then bring it to me and let's talk about it. That's one thing. Because I think in marriage, that's going to happen. There's going to be one person that's just naturally good. But you guys agreeing is what's key. But what the problem here right now is that you're stuck. You can't even create the budget because you need more help. You need another brain in the situation. So there's a lot of different angles here for sure.
Yeah. This is a communication marriage issue, and it happens to be around the subject of money and the budget. And if you'll treat it that way, I think you'll get a lot further.
And bring a third party in if you need to.
Yeah, if you have to sit down with a good marriage counselor or with a pastor, won't hurt a thing. This is The Ramsey Show. Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your relationships, your mental health, your money, your life, your careers. It's what we do. Well, AP is reporting a record 31.5 million Americans plan to bet on this year's Super Bowl, according to estimates released Tuesday by the Gambling Industry's National Trade Group. They're so proud. The American Gaming Association forecasted over $7.6 billion will be wagered on pro football's championship game set for Sunday. Both the amount of people planning to bet, up 35% last year, and the estimated amount of money being bet, get this, up 78% from last year, are new records. Bettors include people making casual wagers with friends or relatives, entries into office pools, wagers with licensed sports books, and bets placed with illegal bookmakers. Americans have never been more interested in legal sports wagering, said Bill Miller, the president's group and CEO. Of course, he would say that. He's somewhat true. That's true, by the way. I think he's right. When the Los Angeles Rams and Cincinnati Bengals begin the game Sunday evening in the Rams' home stadium, 30 states plus Washington, D.C. will offer legal gambling.
I'm going to be honest. Give me a game of craps in Vegas. And I'm like, there's a level of entertainment there for me. I just have zero. I don't understand the sports gambling world. There's nothing entertaining in I guess there's like a social aspect. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Okay. Says the girl who likes to play craps.
I know, but for me, I'm like, there's this atmosphere. I don't know, something like about it. But when it just comes to sports gambling, I'm like, I'm going to Venmo money. I'm going to whatever. It's just, there's nothing. I just don't understand it. So for me,
I don't.
You don't get gambling, period.
I don't bet because I don't like to lose. I'm too cheap.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is, even friends of mine, they'll make a friendly wager, not on money, but on something else. Like you have to wear the wrong jersey the next day or something like that.
Sure.
It just makes you cheer for your team
that much more, and
hate the other team more or whatever.
Yeah,
that kind
you
of
have
stuff.
Skin in the game in a sense. Yeah.
But it makes you pay attention more. It's not just it's not just casual viewing. Then.
Right.
And then of course, the more you put on it, the more intense you get there. I suppose that would be a reasonable theory by someone who doesn't do it.
We're probably the worst.
Yeah, we're the worst ones to comment on this. But what does occur to me is that we have a student loan crisis in America.
Yeah.
But we have $7.6 billion being bet on a football game.
That's insane.
While somebody's kids aren't going to college.
Right.
And there'll be people that lose their homes over this. There'll be people that are, way over the edge. They've lost their minds. They're in a gambling addiction mode. And I don't know what the percentages are, but it's a problem. And so I don't know what percentage of this is casual $10 and $50 or $100 betting versus somebody betting $100,000 or $10,000 that is, they're betting their 401k or something on a football game.
Well, and it's bizarre how much it's gone up, though.
Yeah.
78% about the amount of money, because you think through.
Well, all you got to do is watch. If you've been watching football, it's that sports betting's gone up because every commercial is FanDuel and Caesar. And if I see Caesar one more time, I'm going to punch the guy. But it's a horrible commercial. But the
ads,
and if they're dropping that kind of money in that kind of venue on advertising, that means they're making
oh my
money.
Gosh.
So the gambling industry is really good at sucking you into gambling.
Yeah.
And the idea that you're betting money while you're broke, in debt, your kids don't have their college funded, and you got a car payment, that makes you look pretty stupid.
Yeah.
It makes you look pretty stupid. And so that means there's a whole bunch of people I'm listening to us right now. I just called them stupid. I really did. And they are. You are, if you're doing that.
Well,
you're not stupid, but your activity's stupid. This is a stupid idea. Just like it's a stupid idea to go buy a lotto ticket, And now you probably got a better actual probability of winning something here than you do with lotto, statistically speaking.
Yeah.
But not based on the fact that you're the world's best sports gambler.
Because I feel like our stance, or I'll just say my stance, is if you get to a point where you are gambling there's such risk involved that you have to be at a point. It's almost to me even like a Bitcoin conversation. Like if you are completely debt free, you have your emergency fund, you're funding your retirement, you're funding kids' college, and you have a little small percentage of your world over here that you kind of
that you're willing to lose.
That you're willing to lose. You could burn it and it doesn't affect you.
You're willing to lose it for the thrill.
And it's there, and that's where you're choosing to kind of entertain. Then what? I mean, at that point, it's kind of like
some people buy a boat. Some people buy whatever for the recreation, and this is recreational.
Sure.
Gaming at that point. But
the amount of money and the amount of people, 31.5 million Americans are betting.
That's like everybody.
It's just a lot. It's a lot, you guys. So where
$7.6 billion is wagered. I
wonder why too the money is so people are willing to spend more right now in life. Anything, I feel like, whether it's houses or cars or travel or food, like people are just, inflation too, but like people are just spending more. And there's still this effect of the pandemic, I swear, that 2020, you're all cooped up, 2021, you're still kind of walking on eggshells, but you're getting there. And it's almost like we hit 2022 and it's just like everyone's just screaming for normalcy again. And it's like all the pent up tension still is being released in life and part of it. And I'm like, I just wonder if that's part of it too. Like, the 78% more being betted than last year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's a huge increase. Part of this though is the marketing and the advertising is driving it because they're talking people into betting that never would have thought of it before. The second thing is there's a real get rich quick vibe going on in America right now. And
yes, that's fair.
This is a sense of a shortcut. I'm looking for a shortcut. I'm looking for a shortcut. I'm looking for an easy money. And the ultimate in arrogance is thinking you're going to win. That you've got something figured out. You've got an edge. You've figured out the pattern. You've figured out how this is going to work. Yeah. And that's just so laughable. Yeah. That, I played the odds and I won the last 5 games. And so now I'm going to double down. That's just laughable. The sad thing is in the wake of this, there's two types of people playing. Ones that are going to lose everything. And I don't know what percentage that is, but we all know they're there. Mm-hmm. And with that kind of increase, you're going to see an increase in that ratio-wise, perception-wise. The next thing you're going to run into is that's a lot more is that basically you have a lot of people who really don't have money to lose that are going to lose it. Meaning you lose $500 and you've got a car payment. You didn't have that money to lose. Yeah. You lose $500 and you're still sitting with a student loan, or your kid's student loan kid's student college fund is not funded. Then you don't have that money to lose, and you're gambling away your family's good, the prosperity of your family. Then, and you don't have that money, and we know a large percentage of these people, even casual bettors, fall into that, and so. It's just that there's some devastating numbers that come out of this. It's just
the ripple effect of it.
I think the first time I saw this big time was when I was following the bankruptcy statistics so closely. This was 20 years ago. The number one county for bankruptcy filing in the United States at that time was Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, and it had just erupted, it had just become that. It was the number 4 county or number 5 county before that, and it had become that. But it was tied to the fact that Tunica is just south of there, and the casinos had been put into Tunica, and a lot of lower income people out of Memphis were traveling down to Tunica and losing what they didn't even have to lose. Yeah. And so
same is true when Lotto gets placed into
happens with Lotto as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the scholarship.
We saw this direct correlation between the casino, the lower socioeconomic demographic, and now a bankruptcy statistic that is number 1 in the nation. And this is the kind of stuff. It's a pain statistic. Yeah. And that's what you're going to see around this. It's just sad. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 4:25. Let your eyes look directly forward and your gaze be straight before you. Albert Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Boy, that's the truth. There's something to be said about moving forward. And that way there's a sense of balance to things when you move forward. So do it. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Olivia is with us in Wisconsin. Hi, Olivia. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I had a question about saving for my down payment on a house. Currently, I've had a mutual fund for the past 10 years, and it's got about $50K in it. Should I keep putting money into my mutual fund and then use that for my down payment, or should I be putting it in something else? I plan on buying a house within a year.
Within the year? I mean,
yeah.
How much do you need for the down payment?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I'm trying to get the biggest down payment possible.
Good for you.
It's great. I mean,
I'll just pile it in that mutual fund, and then when you get ready to buy a house, just cash that mutual fund out.
Okay. And then
has the mutual fund been doing okay? Is it stable?
Yeah, it's been pretty stable.
Okay.
It's been getting about like 20%, I think.
That's pretty stable. Yeah.
That's pretty stable.
What fund is it? What fund is it?
Parnassus Endeavor Fund.
Okay. I don't know the fund. Okay. Doesn't mean anything because I don't know that many mutual funds. But, okay. Just what I would do is look at the track record of it and say, okay, out of the past 10 years, how many years has it lost money? How many years has it made money? If it's lost money 5 of the 10, I might not put money in that. But if it's lost money 1 time out of 10 years, I'd go ahead and put money in it because your chances of losing very much is very low and your chance of making some money is good.
Okay. I also had another question on after I bought the house. So I had a discussion with my boyfriend, and my goal is to pay the house off in 6 years by the time I'm 30, but he thinks that we would just do the 15-year fixed minimum payments and then just put money in mutual funds because we'd earn more money that way. And I'm not sure whose idea is better.
Okay, let's start with there's not a we, it's a you, because you own the house. He doesn't own the house.
Right.
Okay. But then we can discuss the theory, Rachel.
Yeah, and the theory, mathematically, when you play it out, Olivia, for sure can swing the way he's saying it mathematically. But when you're just doing math, you're not equating life and everything else that goes. So when something hits, like a pandemic, and you're sitting in a paid-for home with money in the bank, you're going to be a lot less stressed than if you have a mortgage and all this other stuff attached to it, right? So the idea of paying off the home, there's an emotional sense with it that when you pay it off, it frees up your income mathematically so you can actually put more money in investments at that point. But also you have a paid for house. When you don't have a house payment and you don't owe anyone anything, it changes your perspective. It changes your risk. And there's something about it. So mathematically, if you played out his theory all the way, possibly, but then you're adding in the risk and adding in the fact that you won't have a house payment, that you can actually throw that mortgage payment back into investing.
Jesse's with us in Knoxville. Hi, Jesse. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm currently attending an online school as an accounting major. I just started my 3rd year, and I'm really not retaining anything. And I think it's mainly like the format of the classes because I'm not, there's not a professor in front of me teaching. It's mainly videos and textbook readings. So my wife and I have kind of batted around the idea of me transferring to a college in the area, one that you're a big fan of. And we think that would help, but the main drawback to that is my tuition would go up pretty substantially. My tuition right now is pretty cheap. We can pretty much cash flow it. But were I to transfer, it would go up by about $5,000 a year. And I just don't know if that's a good idea, and I wanted your take.
How much do you guys make, Jesse? What's your household income?
About $60,000.
Okay. I mean, the college investing in education, all of that. I mean, it's a debate people have. So, I mean, what you're going to college for is to learn a skill to go and make more money out in the marketplace, right? So if you're not learning where you are right now, then yeah, I think that's an issue, because you're not going necessarily to get a specific diploma from a specific school. It's just the fact that you want to be in person learning. Is that right?
Yeah, I just want to be able to retain information and learn. Yeah, pretty much.
So are your goal though is to become a CPA?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, you're not going to pass the CPA if you haven't retained the information.
That's a good point.
And you're not going to move into that field if you haven't retained the information. So you've got to retain the information. If this methodology isn't working, you have to try a different methodology. Now, it may mean it slows down as an adult learner, how long it takes you to get your accounting degree. It might take longer. Because you don't have the time because you're working extra job to pay cash for the extra cost of the extra tuition. But that's okay. I would do that before I would waste my money, because basically it's what you're doing now if you're not able to retain it.
Okay.
And obviously University of Tennessee, as you're talking about there in Knoxville, is a great school. Both Rachel and I graduated from there with 4-year degrees. Mine was in finance, and hers is in communication. So, we're Vols and we're University of Tennessee fans, and I think it is I think it's worth the money you spend to get an accounting degree at any state school, including University of Tennessee. So, and it's right there in your neighborhood. You don't have anything. Now, you may have to look at your career change. You may have to work some different jobs or extra jobs or something in order to be able to pay for it to go on through. The other thing you could do is there's other in-person learning in that community that's even cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pellissippi's right there. And if I remember right, it's community college and it's free.
I didn't know about that. We've only lived here a couple months, so I'm not super familiar with the area.
Okay. Check out Pellissippi, I believe, is a community college, and I believe community colleges are 100% funded in the state of Tennessee. Now, you can double check me on that, okay? But that's my understanding, and I can't remember if Pellissippi, I don't think they've gone to a 4-year yet. So if there's another community college in the area, you could consider that to get some of your basic accounting under your belt, even if you went over to UT to finish up your last 2 years or something like that. You could look at that angle, but the online is the issue, and it depends on how these different colleges are reacting to COVID as to whether they push you out of the classroom or not. And you're saying you're struggling to learn in the online setting. You're not retaining the information, so you're going to have to put yourself in a different setting somehow or another. But no, it's not justification of going to debt. There's another way to do it, and it's not super. $5,000. You can come up with $5,000 delivering pizzas, DoorDash, cutting grass. I mean, your wife nannying, tutoring, I don't know, whatever it is you do. But there's all kinds of stuff you can do to add a little bit of income to your life and to your situation to make this dream happen. But it sounds like it's worth doing, Rachel.
Yeah. Oh, I think so for sure. And the fact you're not having to move or anything in Pellissippi, I didn't think about that, but the community college down the road. So
I know there's others in the area too.
Yeah,
That just comes to mind.
But to look at your options. But I think it's valid, because if you're going to want to go into a skill career specifically that's so tactical like accounting, you got to know what
be
you're
able to do
doing
accounting. You got to be able to do accounting.
That's right.
It's not a subjective thing. It's an objective thing. It's very measurable.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, communications, I can kind of
BS your way through that one?
I wouldn't say that, but I can figure out how to make it work.
I don't know anybody would have done anything like that.
Not as much. Now, Dave, math accounting, I can do.
It comes back to that.
Bring it back.
Comes back to that. Good job to the folks in the booth. Good job, Rachel. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.